привет! Хорошего воскресного вечера. Сегодня у меня такая трансляция немножечко с заглядыванием в прошлый квест. Дело в том, что у меня до сих пор не открыто краски фиалкового сада, не открыто событие, потому что я не сделала некоторые квесты. И сегодня решила не идти в разлом, не смотреть какие-то другие новые темы, а вернуться, потому что очень хочется поучаствовать в событиях. Не знаю, насколько это будет кому-то интересно, но мне очень хочется постримить квесты в Инадзуме. Так, значит, начнем. Катерина. Что она мне расскажет?
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Recently, the Adventurers Guild has received an unusual commission, and after careful consideration, we believe that
the Traveler would be the most suitable candidate, right?
Indeed, I will spare the pleasantries then.
Так,
May I ask
меня
if you
просят
two
о
are
помощи.
available to help?
Окей.
Well, let me go over it briefly. Our client for this job is the Yassiro Commission. Apparently, Rift Towns are attacking the roots of the sacred sakura nearby Mount Yogo in great numbers.
Rift Hounds? A Narukami...
Гончие
Yes.
разрыва.
We are not sure where exactly these creatures come from. The sacred sakura is of tremendous importance to Inazuma.
Да,
I trust
мне об этом,
good.
конечно, известно.
Then you can see that this...
Is the Tenryu Commission?
Yes, and they are already taking action of their own. However, given that the sacred sakura, their main priority is to protect the civilian population, so they are actively looking to cooperate with all other available forces to eliminate the monsters. The Adventurers Guild is one of the key parties assisting the Tenryu Commission with their work. But so far, the combined efforts to combat the Rift Towns has failed to substantially ameliorate the situation.
Ой, как жестоко.
You
Ладно.
have our deepest gratitude. I will mark on your map the areas where Rift Town appearances have been recently reported. I hope you won't encounter too much trouble overcoming them.
Relax. We'll be back
Так,
The sacred Sakura's in danger again, huh? Who'd have thought?
значит, нужно разобраться с этими гончими. Окей, сейчас попробуем.
Keeping the sacred Sakura safe was Kazari's greatest wish, and now these mangy mutts are trying to destroy
Какая
it.
поймон
Time to
грубая.
teach him a lesson.
Дын-дын-дын-дын.
They're attacking the sacred Sakura! Stop them!
Ой-ой-ой. Так, а где еще одна? Ой-ой-ой-ой. Кто-то пострашнее, побольше.
Burst forth! Feel this ancient power!
Хе-хе. А. Мазила. Такое летающее Неуловимая.
Wow, there are so many of them! No wonder the Tenryou Commission needed help! Come on, Traveler, you can take them!
Молодец.
Torn to oblivion!
Ой, меня спасли.
Shogun?
Что она здесь
It's you
забыла?
two. It has been a long time. We have not seen each other since the resolution.
Okay, sounds more like A. It is you, right? You sure made short work of them! That was amazing!
I'm making early preparations for what is to come. Last time we took a walk around Inadzume together, I witnessed the way the world is today. I was finally able to comprehend some things that I had never understood in the past. Since then, every time I encounter an obstacle in my thinking, I find myself having the urge to spend some time in the outside world.
Makes sense. You must get super bored being stuck in there all the time.
Might I remind you that I am not here to amuse myself. Recently, I have observed a number of changes in the external world from the plane of Euthymia. I considered this matter worthy of my attention, so I pursued them, and they led me here, where I happened to run into you. If the Shogun rather than I were to discover them, yes, perhaps she would have left the situation alone.
Why?
Precisely. According to the rules I designed for her, matters of this nature are to be delegated to the Tri-Commission. But rift hounds attacking the sacred Sakura.
A disaster?
Yes. 500 years ago, a great catastrophe befell Inazuma.
Так, это интересно.
Everything was engulfed in a pitch-black fog, and monsters ravaged the land. Countless lives were lost, and this homeland that the people had worked so hard to build barely escaped being obliterated entirely. The monsters committed many atrocities on Inazuman soil, and the Rift Hounds were always their advance guard. Their duty was to tear open a passage through space with their claws and teeth, and then call in even more powerful beasts. So that's an episode of history that I am loath to recall.
Что-то
Maybe to
все
you,
эти архонты
it seems like my
скрывают
response to these
постоянно.
creatures was an excessive one. But an excess of caution is not unwarranted in this case.
Guess you can't argue with that.
Since we are both here for the same reason, let us work together. From the traces they've left in the surrounding area,
Paimon feels so safe when we're in A's company. Having
Да,
someone uber...
действительно.
Oh, yeah. After we've dealt with the monster... This color! It's similar to the color when the sacred Sakura takes damage. Let's follow it. It should be this way.
Так, момент, надо подлечиться. Ищите оставленные следы. Ай, не туда. Ага, вот это что-то такое жуткое. Вот, я нашла. Не? Как будто краской размазала. Что это? Жуть какая. Так, здесь загадка. Я даже не помню, разгадывала я ее или нет. Так, ладно. Это явно не по квесту. Где? Где? Этот парень мне нужен. Пытаюсь выяснить, что произошло.
We are lucky. The damage is not too serious. The Yassiro Commission will be able to nurse the root system back to health.
This stuff that's flowing out, is it sap or something? And how come
Это
it's
сок из
glowing?
корней.
Huh?
Ой. Что-то странное.
What's this?
Что это?
Could they be dead blood?
Призраки?
Let's search the area. Perhaps we will find out.
I can't go on like this. Not with...
What happened here?
Who are you? What are you doing here? Run quick while you still can. The monsters will be back. And once you're in their sights, I'm telling you there's no... We will defend Inazuma. Until you... You don't... Beasts and horrifying monsters are everywhere. Every last trace of humanity's existence, I tell you. They'll
What? Look!
Not right now. But they'll be back. The almighty Shogun is gone. So is Kitsune Saigu. There is no one left to rely on but
Какие-то
ourselves.
флешбеки, какие-то воспоминания.
I don't know how long we can hold out for. But if we abandon...
Don't worry, I'm right here.
Эй.
It's... You're back. Please, we beg you. You have to help us. You have to save us. Only the glow of your supreme lightning can dispel this terrible darkness. Please, or the whole of Inazuma will be reduced to a hunting ground for the beasts.
Calm down. The war you speak of is over.
Over? But
Look around you. The grass grows green and lush, and a soft breeze blows. This is Inazuma at peace, as you will no doubt remember. There are no monsters, nor is there anything else here that could threaten your life.
What? But how? Just moments ago, they were everywhere. I saw them tear my comrade to shreds with my own eyes.
Hey, calm down. Everything's fine now.
I think I understand. Almighty Shogun, you saved Inazuma. Yes, we were right to place our trust in the Almighty Shogun. As long as the Shogun is with us, Inazuma will last for an eternity.
Он даже плачет.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, thank you.
What's wrong with him?
He's gone.
Paimon can't even begin to understand what that was all about.
If I am not mistaken, the sacred sakura can absorb and purify the filth in the ley lines. After the Rift Hounds attacked, some of this filth leaked out through the cracks in the trunk and formed a physical entity. An entity formed with strong filth would be highly aggressive. But when purified filth quickly dissipates and will be absorbed by the ley lines shortly afterwards. In other words...
So the memories of the ones that died are all...
Yes. That soldier was one of the many thousands who made the ultimate sacrifice. What he was describing just now was precisely the disaster that happened in Inazuma 500 years ago. Yes. Inazuma was facing many great crises at that time. Some were local in origin, while others came from the now fallen kingdom of Kanria. The disaster in Inazuma caused me great concern. I felt that I had to step in before it was too late, otherwise it would spread to all of Teyvat. But my friend, Kitsune Saigu, reassured me that I had nothing to worry about. She would shoulder the responsibility of protecting Inazuma and mobilize all forces at her disposal to combat the threat. I could tell that, although neither of us acknowledged it, we both knew that the road ahead would likely end in tragedy.
So, Inazuma was attacked at the same time as when the disaster happened in Kanria?
Indeed. Countless monsters suddenly appeared throughout all of Inazuma. In the end, Kitsune Saigu sacrificed her life to protect the people. I never had the chance to see her one last time. But I would like to believe that she kept her promise to me until the very last. But even then, Inazuma was left more devastated than we could have ever imagined. Those terrible tragedies left great wounds that are still felt to this day, both on the land itself and in my heart.
Ei?
Yes. For the longest time, I couldn't bring myself to face the pain of that loss. All my martial might was in vain. Though I could conquer Tatarigami and vanquish monsters, I was helpless against the ravages of time, powerless to keep the ones I cherished alive. But after my clash with human ambition, I thought long and hard. Now I realize I cannot fixate on the past forever. When I traveled around Inazuma with you, I caught a glimpse of how the nation has progressed over the centuries. A glimpse of human potential. Moving forward inevitably invites further loss, but also new encounters. Just think of that soldier. Despite all the losses he had experienced, he still chose to keep fighting for the sake of moving forward. All those who sacrificed themselves back then gave their lives fighting for a future. But perhaps the future they were hoping for is not the eternity that I once strove for. As Inazuma's god, it is high time I honored their wishes. Warriors of the past, who spilled your blood on this land, your noble souls now rest in this earth. I will never forget you, and all that you did for Inazuma.
He's taking all this pretty hard.
Come on. Let's keep investigating the damage to the sacred Sakura.
Насколько все-таки в квестах раскрывается личность архонтов, намного интереснее становится играть, когда узнаешь о них такую информацию. Так.
Expected, there are a load of rift hounds here too!
Leave them to me. Illusion shattered!
Нет.
Inazuma shines eternal!
Huh? Something seems wrong with A.
Why would you ask that?
Well, usually you'd pull out your sword and swish! Vaporize them all in one go! No?
You are unduly concerned. I'm simply conserving my energy. Although I have some understanding of the situation already, it could take an unexpected turn at any time. I must be prepared for anything. If there are more formidable monsters...
Ah, makes sense. Spoken like a seasoned shogun. The roots seem pretty badly damaged this time. We definitely need to tell the Yassiro Commission about this. Hey, the same light is leaking out again.
Ой.
Furuyama?
Almighty
Чайный
Shogun,
мастер.
what brings you back so soon? I thought you were off fighting a battle in a distant
Яшерка
land.
там у него.
Fighting a battle in a distant land? Sounds like this guy's talking about 500 years ago, too.
Allow me to introduce Furuyama. He is a tea master and a member of my retinue. Though blind, Furuyama is unparalleled in his ability to appraise tea. He brews some of the very finest tea in all of Inazuma.
Your Excellency, you shower me with praise undeserved. I have simply had the good fortune to be in Your Excellency's presence long enough to become acquainted with all the skills that are required of me. It sounds like the Almighty Shogun has brought a guest. I'm afraid I'm unable to serve you any respectable refreshments on account of the current situation. But please, sit and rest. After all, it's quite a mess out there.
Он
What should we
тоже
do?
застрял в воспоминаниях.
Oh, yeah. Sheesh. There's monsters everywhere out there. It's pitch black and loads of people have been injured.
I see. So, they have fought their way this far already.
Да, он тоже ничего не понимает.
Most of the residents in this neighborhood have already escaped. They wanted to take me with them, but it seemed rather pointless to me. So, I decided to stay. And now the Almighty Shogun is here, I have even less reason to run away. Imagine if this was something that even the Almighty Shogun was powerless to resolve. Where could I possibly run to then? People flee out of a desire to live on. And the desire to live on stems from a feeling of having unfinished business in life. But me, I have no such thoughts, and I have no regrets. The Almighty Shogun
Интересно.
often speaks to me about her dreams over tea. Just listening to her stories, I've been blind for many years, but her vivid descriptions took me on a splendid journey to all the most beautiful places in Inazuma. Over time, I've come to understand her mindset. Quite the romantic at heart, a true dreamer. One thing she always says is, good things don't last forever. Everything changes, fades, disappears completely over the passage of time. And so, people must make the most of the life they have, seize the chance to enjoy it while it lasts, and have no regrets in the end. So you see, as bleak as things may be now, I have experienced countless wonderful things in life, and have no reason not to be satisfied.
Perhaps you are right.
It won't be long now before I have to say goodbye to the Almighty Shogun for the last time. What a pity. I'll never get to see what Inazuma looks like after the Almighty Shogun rebuilds it anew. But I suppose it doesn't matter. Everyone says that Inazuma has turned dark now. But to me, it went dark a long time ago. Once this catastrophe is over, life is sure to spring forth anew. But even if I survived until then, I'd probably be a hopelessly befuddled old so-and-so by then. So, never mind, eh?
Какой неунывающий мужчина.
Oh, goodness me. Speaking of befuddled, look at me rambling away to my heart's content and forgetting to serve the tea. The almighty Shogun comes to visit and I don't have the tea ready. A truly egregious loss of decorum. One moment, I'll just... Where in the world is the tea set? I hope the others didn't smash it to smithereens in their hasty departure.
Can't see a tea set anywhere around here.
Really? But it's always been right by my side. I couldn't possibly have my guests fetch it themselves. That would be most discourteous indeed.
Don't worry about it. Take...
Almighty Shogun, you're not going too, are you? No, no, no. Your humble servant implores you, not with the war raging outside.
This place is... complicated. It's quite unlike the tea house in your memories. Leave it to us.
But... well, okay. I never thought I'd see the day that I need the almighty Shogun to personally collect my tea set for me. I can't decide whether it's a final regret or a final stroke of good fortune.
Where should we go to find a tea
Хороший
set?
вопрос.
Having a cup of tea isn't exactly the most urgent thing to do right now, but at the same time, this lovely old man from 5...
Интересно, что это даст.
I'm also feeling very nostalgic for his tea.
It's the Traveler. And the almighty Shogun. How might I be of assistance, Your Excellency?
I wish to borrow a tea set from the Yassiro Commission.
Oh, sure. I'll fetch that for you right away. Please step into the courtyard and have a rest, almighty Shogun. Oh, and I'll inform my lord about your visit immediately. Ah, and the tea set. I'll bring that here as soon as it's ready.
Be at ease. I'm not here to see Commissioner Kamisato. Actually, I'd prefer to spend this time chatting with the Traveler. Please.
No. I am your humble servant. I daren't think of my own convenience when the almighty Shogun graces me with her presence. I'll deal with it right away.
Well, it's not often we have the chance to chat. I'm sure you must have a lot of questions.
Что за странный вопрос. Точно тебе чай заварила? Что?
Paimon wanted to ask that too. The almighty Shogun that he described
вот
didn't
что она
sound
имеет в виду.
anything like you at all.
I seldom had the time to drink tea. Any free time I had was spent practicing martial arts. So, in the vast majority of cases, the one he made tea for was the former Electro Archon, who was also my sister, Raidan Makoto. He may well have had an inkling about there being two Raidan Shoguns, but he always acted as if he was completely unaware of it. The philosophy of life that he shared with us just now, that was Makoto's view on reality. She always saw things that way.
Так, кажется, я узнаю немножко больше о сестре.
You and Makoto had pretty different views, huh?
Indeed we did. It was the biggest difference between us. In her eyes, the most precious things in this world were dreams. The yearning for a better future held by living beings. They are similar, but not identical. When you came charging into the plane of Euthymia, I saw human aspirations light up the sky far above in the form of countless stars. This somewhat shook me. Now, it seems like she was right, while I took the wayward path.
Wow. There sure was a lot going on beneath the surface.
Makoto saw a bigger picture than I did. In her view, a dream is more imaginary, more abstract than an ambition. An ambition is a yearning for something material, or a concrete outcome. It is finite in nature, and will be replaced by a new ambition in due course. Makoto was more concerned with the force that drives humans to constantly generate new ambitions in the first place. It is something innate, rooted in instinct. In other words, it is something eternal.
That's, quite a lot to take in.
To put it simply, Makoto wasn't concerned about outcomes. I didn't understand at the time. How can we say that we are maintaining eternity when things are constantly moving forward and evolving? I suppose what it comes down to is the definition of eternity she set out with. Yes, it does. I always thought that she must have grasped some elusive, arcane wisdom to arrive at the conclusions she did. But in the last analysis, Makoto's philosophy was, on the surface at least, an elegantly simple one. Notwithstanding that it was also the more prudent choice, based on a more mature, far-sighted outlook.
Do you feel you're starting to understand her better now?
You have already witnessed my previous views on eternity. But now, I no longer cling to what was lost. I suppose that means our differences have been reconciled.
Almighty Shogun, I found a tea set. This one in particular should be fit for your Excellency's use.
It's quite beautiful. Thank you.
You are too kind. A humble servant such as I does not deserve the gratitude of the Almighty Shogun.
It's all good, sir. She's actually pretty chill.
Let us return. We ought not keep Furuyama waiting too long.
Так, отлично. Все довольны? Сервис получен. Давайте уже выясним, что там дальше. Ай, ай. Красота.
Hey, where'd he go? He wouldn't have gone looking for a tea set himself.
Or perhaps the ley lines did not have the power to sustain him for very long. As was the case with the memory we saw earlier.
So we won't get to drink his tea? We didn't even have a chance to say goodbye.
Oh, поняла.
The information held in the ley lines is complex and disorderly. The fact that we were able to meet him to begin with was a miracle of fate. Well, this chance won't come often, and we do have a tea set. Perhaps I should try my hand at making us a pot of tea. I've watched Furuyama brew tea on many occasions. I doubt I should have any major problems doing it myself.
Да, будет интересно.
The tea is ready. Please give it a try. So many thoughts were racing through my head as I was brewing it. You're right. But the things we've seen today have brought back many memories for me. I've been reminded of many people, too. Kitsune Saigu, Makoto, and all the other friends who I watched pass even further back.
Чё такое?
Back at the Yassiro
Запираешься,
Commission,
Сакура?
I kept the conversation reasonably lighthearted. But now, I'd like to broach a heavier topic, if I may. The events of 500 years ago not only robbed me of my friend, Kitsune Saigu, they also took Makoto away from me, for good.
She died in that disaster too?
Yes. She went to Conria alone, without telling me. Unlike me, Makoto was no martial artist. Whenever similar crises had arisen in the past,
Почему же тогда она?
I was always the one to face
Почему
them
она
in
туда
her
пошла?
stead. But this time, the circumstances were so grave that Makoto had no choice but to leave me behind. Yes. It was too late. I arrived only in time to hear her dying breath. She had already lapsed into unconsciousness by that point. So all I could do was enter into her mind. As it was there that we bid each other a final farewell. I cried bitterly. Even in those final moments, I couldn't understand her actions. Why did she go to Conria first, and not I? Why did she keep me in the dark about it? Was it to shield me? It was there and then that I resolved to pursue eternity. As a testament to that decision, I saved her realm of consciousness just before it collapsed completely, and brought it back to Inazuma.
That's quite a story.
When I returned to Inazuma, I was shocked to find that a great sakura tree had appeared on Mount Yogo. The tree that you know, and that's exactly what everyone back then told me as well. That it had existed since time immemorial. They were so matter-of-fact about it, and couldn't at all understand what I was so surprised about. No one questioned it. And yet, its presence contrasted so starkly with the area as I remembered it. It seemed as if I was the only one to have noticed it appear suddenly out of thin air. In the end, I simply had to accept that it was a miraculous effect of Makoto's consciousness. With the help of the sacred Sakura's power, I was finally able to overcome the monsters and quell the disaster in Inazuma.
This is all really hard to understand. Kinda beyond Paimon's level.
Yes. She had such a great love for this land, and for its people. I once told myself that I would never speak of these events again. Facing the fact that she is gone is unbearably painful. But even the tea that is most bitter to the tongue, once swallowed, leaves some sweetness in the throat. And it's time I came to terms with it all.
Oh, while we're on the topic, since you experienced that battle in person...
Brother? I had heard that you were looking for your family. You mean to say that he was somehow involved in the Conria disaster?
Based on what we've learned so far, it seems so, yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't there for the whole thing. By the time I arrived, the worst of the fighting was already over. And also, my mind was consumed entirely with the plight of Inazuma, and the fate of those closest to me. So, I am afraid I can't help you.
Oh, well, that's a shame. But it can't be helped, I guess. Boy, both of you have experienced great tragedy.
With this last cup of tea, let us honor the Tea Master's memory. Thank you, Destiny, for giving us the chance to meet again.
We should go. Let's keep following the traces.
Very well. Based on my investigation so far, I believe this next pack of monsters should be the last.
Так. Все очень грустно. Таинственно и грустно. Где здесь что? Я уже запуталась. Продолжайте идти по следам. Я что-то не вижу. Не сюда ли? Мне случайно предлагают... Тут ничего не было. Не было. Я сюда уже приходила. Нет, да. Ладно, проще еще раз. Упс. Не вижу. Так, ну, это интересно, конечно. Запутаться в 3 соснах. Ага, вот. Блин. Аккуратно. Аккуратно. Иду, я иду. Ой, вот, кажется. Что тут такое? Кто тут прячется? Нашлись.
Once again, please leave.
Hey, are you...
Fear not. Fighting is what I do best. There is no escape!
Ведь мне сражаться не умею.
Shine down!
Are you alright?
I'm fine.
Сколько же вас тут? Ой. Ой-ой-ой.
Now you shall perish! Erase all threats. There is...
Повезло.
Hey, maybe you should leave this one to us.
My apology.
Don't worry about it. We'll deal with them.
Что с ним случилось?
Look, that's the same light again.
Where am I? Who are you? Almighty Shogun, you're here too! Are you injured, Your Excellency?
I'm quite all right. Just feeling a little stiff.
We, the Shogunate Samurai, will defend the Shogun until the very end.
Come on, men! They're coming back for more!
Ой-ой-ой.
Let's get them!
Don't!
Danger is our duty, ma'am. If we were the kinds to shy away from danger, we never would have taken up arms to begin with.
No need to worry, Almighty Shogun. When the situation looks bleak, we will draw on the power granted to us by the gods.
Is that a vision?
It certainly is. I know the gods are omnipotent, and their willingness to grant their power to humans means they have high expectations for us. If the Almighty Shogun is in trouble, now of all times is the moment for us to honor that.
So that's how samurai of that era understood visions, huh?
Nobody knew where Your Excellency had gone, and we were starting to despair. But now we've found you. You're right here with us. Just the sight of you appearing before us once more has reignited the hope in our hearts. This hope is the light that will guide us out from the darkness.
Everyone, on me!
We'll help too!
Huh? Affirmative, but watch your backs.
Protect the Almighty Shogun!
Great undertaking!
Burn!
Они там прям реально сражаются.
Verdict is...
Даже приветствую.
It seems like their attacks are finally over.
Thank you all.
Are you okay? Maybe you should keep resting.
I'm fine. I feel much better already.
You fought phenomenally. It was truly awe-inspiring. The monsters will definitely come back. And when they do, it'll be more than a few Rift Hounds this time. Quickly, escort Her Excellency back to Inazuma City, and regroup with the General's forces as soon as possible.
When everyone sees the almighty Shogun say...
Well, what are you guys gonna do?
We will stay here and guard against the monsters' advance. We cannot afford to let them get any further. We are brothers in arms. As long as we stick together, we can face any number of monsters that come our way.
Да уж.
Just leave it to us. Fighting is what we do best. But the almighty Shogun is the only one of us with the power to change the present state of affairs. Only Her Excellency can turn back the tide of despair and lead us onward into the future. No matter what kind of threat faces Inazuma, we will always place our faith in the almighty Shogun.
Oh, thank you all very much. I promise you that I will create a bright future for Inazuma. I should not have left it this late to make this promise. But from this moment forth, know that I shall be true to my word.
Don't worry, Your Excellency. We will never doubt your word as long as we live. With you leading us, we will claim back everything that Inazuma has lost.
Glory to the Shogun! Glory to the Shogun!
They're gone.
It was both. The people's sacrifice has always caused me immense pain. But in dwelling on the tragedy, I overlooked their splendor. The result being that in the centuries since their sacrifice, I have dishonored their will. You could take the view that whatever I say to them is meaningless, because they are but disembodied memories held in the ley lines. But even so, they are due a resolution. I owe it to them, and
Well, Paimon thinks that even if it's a few hundred years later, you're doing right by them now, and that's what counts.
thank you for your comforting words. But this is my basic duty as Inazuma's Archon, and I have neglected it for far too long. I used to think just like that samurai, that I was first and foremost a warrior, and my only duty was to face whatever challenge came my way. But what Inazuma needs more than a warrior is someone like Makoto. Even though I am utterly unlike Makoto, and can never become the person she was, I still need to do the things that she would have done. Yes, they are. They are strong and resilient, and have much to be proud of. As the Raiden Shogun they revere, I should not be the one to hold them back.
Well said. Sounds to Paimon like
Change will come to Inazuma, and with it, new possibilities. This will take time, but eventually, the future will bring healing to the scars of the past. No matter how long it takes, I am committed to bringing this to fruition. This is my promise. Now that we've dealt with the Rift Hounds, this matter is halfway resolved. I will leave the Tenryo and Yassiro commissions to handle the follow-up work.
Alrighty then. Let's.
Окей, давайте
It looks
быстрее.
calm on the outside. She seems to have changed a lot. Huh? What's wrong, eh? What's going on? Are you feeling unwell again?
It looks like the situation.
Что происходит?
No need. I need to go to the cave.
Why?
A battleground. One where I shall sever ties with the past.
Let's dance.
Так, куда это тут надо? Не.
Ready, steady, go!
Так, это где-то внизу. Кустик. Тут кустик. Я туда пройду. Должно быть что-то. Ой, жук. Ой, кто это тут? Что это тут? Пауки. Я уже тут обрадовалась. Сундучок. Опять обманули. Риску дали. Ой, вот. Я совсем недавно их видела. Так интересно. Лиса сидит, там ворона. В прошлый раз я их застала, когда лиса, эта кицуна, сидела, смотрела на ворону, которая на крыше там была. А, вот она лежит одна. Не успела. Спугнула птичку. Ну ладно, может быть, еще достану. Так интересно, они там как будто сидели и общались о чем-то. Так. Ну. Что же ждёт меня здесь?
Whoa! Where'd that Torii gate come from?
Torii.
It's getting worse again. This is a place I once sealed off with my own hands. The entrance to Raidan Makoto's... It looks like she will no longer allow me to do with...
Huh? What are you talking about? And who is she?
Что здесь происходит?
Макото?
Очередной отчет сознания. Ну, сознание Макото, логично.
Whoa. This place. Look, it's another A.
We meet again, traveler. This body is an assistant to the one within, but it is also the guardian of the rules. Should the one within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
Wait, Paimon knows that voice. Is that the puppet?
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the true essence of eternity. You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct.
Ничего не понимаю.
Don't you? But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors. And the dialogue we must now have...
Wait. Are you alright now?
The discomfort I was experiencing earlier was caused by the Shogun rejecting my continued use of her body. As she indicates, once I started entertaining the idea of change, I became hostile in her eyes. But inside a realm of consciousness, I exist independently of her. She cannot affect me in this way. Though she is a puppet, the Shogun has her own consciousness too. When necessary, she appears here to confront me.
Paimon gets that everyone has their internal battles and stuff, but not like this. It's a bit
Да, это
extreme.
как-то немножко слишком.
Showdown with the Shogun?
The rules I set for the Shogun are... No. The Shogun herself is the manifestation of my past ideals. The very foundation stone of eternity. I would not try to change her.
Isn't there any other way? Can't you talk it through or something? But they both just...
My form is a symbol of supreme majesty, in which has been vested power over all the realm. It is the cohesive embodiment of all that constitutes, though it inherits Ei's pain. The pain of inevitable loss that comes as she moves forward. So every action undertaken is for the sake of resisting erosion. Determination, courage, love, hatred. All of these will be degraded and distorted by the incessant flow of time. Only rules shall remain constant for eternity. Those were my thoughts when I created you. Now, they are towering obstacles that I have no choice but to overcome. You wish to make yourself my enemy? I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity. And I am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Rayden Ei! In the end, even the proud and mighty Oni Maiden was cut down and disgraced. Though your blade has been cleansed of her blood and filth, never shall it shine as brightly as it once did.
Это как я должна сейчас быть?
Inferior.
Мне нужно...
Inadzume shines eternal! The eye sweeps the lands!
Ой-ой-ой.
The Kitsune sakura blossoms that once filled the skies fell to the ground as pitch-black rain. As long as the ley lines flow, the relentless erosion of time will never stop.
She's completely recovered?
Да, похоже, я что-то сделала.
Illusion shattered! Insolent! Pathetic! Now you shall perish! The divine lightning that envelops all of Inazuma will fade silently into the clouds.
Что, чувак?
There shall never be another. Never. For the rest of time. Torn to oblivion! Illusion shattered! The eye sweeps the land! There is no escape! Now you shall perish! Only emptiness awaits.
Have you finally defeated her?
И что же будет тогда?
It appears your martial prowess has not dulled. But how long can your will remain strong? In this realm of consciousness, her existence is tenacious indeed. She was built to resist erosion. Her will is stronger than any other living beings, including you and me.
Then, does that...
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. The future I shall forge will be a grand undertaking, one that will be resistant to erosion. If I don't do this, the Shogun's rules can never change, and Inazuma can never move forward. This is my duty. No matter how long this battle may last, months, years, centuries, and no matter how many times we must fight. 500 years ago, here in the present, they rely on their ambition to challenge wayward practices, tear them out like the diseased wood of an old sakura tree, so that new, healthy branches might spring to life in their place. It is about time that I learned to trust them. I understand that. But if the dreams of which Makoto spoke are true eternity, a short moment for which the Shogun does not exist, I fight for the everlasting future of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity. I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that during my absence, I place everything in...
But this means...
Pass on my words.
Ой-ой-ой. Все. Райдэн улетела.
Looks like we got kicked out. Oh, what do we do? I mean, she was making sense. And maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still... Right? Also, A can be pretty stubborn. What if she gets too obsessed with winning, and she forgets why she's there in the first place? It could happen.
Нужно идти к
And then
Мику,
she might never
конечно
leave
же.
again. Yeah, we should help her out. Is there any way we can cut down how long she needs to spend in there? Or, you know, help her win the... Well, whatever. We can't let anything back. Oh, but we also can't... Okay, well, first things first. We gotta find a way back
К
in.
Мику, к Мику.
Oh, come on, brain juice. Don't feel Paimon now. Oh, you're right. Paimon nearly... Who knows if she really understands these consciousness realm playing thingies more than we do. But there's no...
Конечно, она разбирается в этом. Наша Кицуне. Так. Тоже. Найдем. Ага. Ты.
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you. I hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
But you're always smiling.
That was a figure of speech, do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer audacity.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's A. She...
Oh, okay, I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable, presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now? Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem to be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help? Who gave you that idea?
Is she playing dumb? She's
Конечно,
doing this on
нарочно.
purpose, for sure!
Aha, you're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from Ei's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way. But I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me. What was it like? Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all. First things first. Follow me to the entrance.
By the protection of the Electro Archon, may the blossoms of the sacred Sakura bloom eternally.
Кто говорил?
Narukami, please, see that he stays safe.
Здесь. Ясно. Так. Вначале мне нужно взять штучку. Вот она. Так. Да, немножко скриншотиков поделать. Уже не нужно было.
Now then, I always have my... To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm Ei's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where Ei is.
So, it's abstract, but has a location, but you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there.
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded by chaos. Everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time. This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What? Alright, well, Paimon's staying here then. You two can go in.
Suit yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal? Oh, well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way. I say. Oh, nothing. It just seems By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination. Well then, the door's open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Rico? You better know what you're doing.
That's enough chatter. Get...
Как это все рискованно звучит. Непонятно. Ой.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
О, это было круто. Такое путешествие. Мы вернулись.
You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years? This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel. The conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? Stand back, traveler. I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations. Great enough to pulverize the ocean and turn day into night. And the will they demand, sufficient to penetrate minds and crush dreams. You have endured. I will endure forever. Witness the final calamity. Illusion shattered. There is no escape.
Я получу. Барбара очень вовремя.
This is the end. You have won. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future, and you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Muso Ishin.
Что такое Мусуисин?
The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, It seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding. This blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps when I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant. I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth. I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like...
Что это было?
Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness. I am Raidan Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces. Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me. But... you never mentioned this to me. Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inadzume to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inadzume has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me. See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inadzume's pain. Here, take it, before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, Ei? I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh? Goodbye, Makoto.
Это грустно.
So the A of the present planted the sacred sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
Так, а здесь почему-то кусочек не озвучен.
Without the sacred sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred sakura and Makoto's consciousness, but unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Да, она сделала такую лисичку.
Ugh. Now we see who's pulling the strings.
Диктаторские замашки.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too. It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not? Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you? At that time, I could sense Ei's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help Ei. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel?
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside. So it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
Ei, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward. I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day. I just planted a seed.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days?
Что такая недовольно посмотрела на
Actually,
неё.
no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Really? That's huge news!
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key. I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma. I'm looking forward to it.
Как интересно. Прям заслушалась. Сакура грез, да. Да. Так, что получается? Что?
see that we stay safe.
Так, нет, это не тут. Она. Сакура грез. Цветок сакуры, который вы держите в руке перед тем, как покинуть пространство истинного сознания Райдэн. Хотя он выглядит как обычный цветок сакуры, и как любой нормальный предмет может быть помещен в инвентарь, не можете прикоснуться к нему, не можете почувствовать его вес или тепло. Когда у объекта отсутствуют привычные для нас характеристики, как можно доказать его существование? Когда вы вспоминаете о том, сколько всего видели до того, как получить этот цветок, в голову приходит одна мысль. Сила, которая позволяет ему оставаться в мире, исходит от чьей-то воли. Но кто этот человек? Он делает это сознательно или бессознательно? Невозможно знать наверняка. Его желание сотворить этот цветок сакуры вызвано ностальгией, доверием или благодарностью. На этот вопрос тоже нет ответа. Может быть, цветок исчезнет, когда изменится воля того человека. Даже в этом случае вам ничего не стоит время от времени проверять, на месте ли он. Какая загадочная штучка. Загадочный цветок. Скорее лепесток. Интересно. Так, ну отлично. С квестом я справилась. И все равно мне недоступны краски фиалкового сада. Завершите мечты воинов, подобные весенней траве, чтобы узнать предысторию. Мечты воинов, подобные весенней траве. Мечты воинов. Мне хотя бы взят. Отлично. Что же нужно сделать? Направляйтесь к указанной точке острова Ватацуми. После окончания сражения вы получаете весточку от Кокуми о готовящейся на Ватацуми праздничной вечеринке. Какой надеется, что вы сможете ее посетить. Но что-то там не так. Так. Ну-ка, смотрим. Репорт. Это уже совсем другая история началась.
This should be where Kokomi said to meet her. Do you still remember? Paimon remembers. That was back when you did your stint as captain of swordfish. Things on the island must have changed up.
If the enemy outnumbers you, seek their weakness and exploit it. If you outnumber the enemy, seek unequivocal domination and crush them. Marauders on the waterfront are supplied by sea. Burning their ships is the path to success.
General Goro, sir, do you have a verdict?
More or less. From the directives left behind by Her Excellency, we can surmise that a Fatui ship is moored nearby. We could split into two teams. One to draw their attention, and the other to circle around behind enemy lines and set fire to their ship. Then again, Madame Kokumi made clear that we are not to split up without sufficient forces.
Sir, shall I send for reinforcements?
I doubt there's time. Based on their movements, they'd likely be gone before our troops arrived. Her Excellency's directives also stipulate that we should wait in ambush and avoid making the first move. Since we lack sufficient troops, I don't think we can afford to engage the enemy at this time.
Sir, we're just gonna stand by and watch them leave? Surely there must be another way.
Her Excellency's directives also state help may arrive when all seems lost. As for where this help is supposed to come from,
Hey, Goro! What are you guys up to?
Captain, you've returned to Watatsumi Island.
That's great! Her Excellency's directives are as reliable as ever. You've arrived recently? The remnants of the Fatui forces have been unusually active. We've been monitoring their movements, waiting in ambush here. Unfortunately, we don't have the manpower to split into two teams. Can we ask you to keep them occupied?
Hard to say no when it's the Fatui. Whatever they're planning, we won't let them get away with it.
Good. There's not a moment to lose. We'll go behind enemy lines and sabotage their ship. Let's meet. Watch yourselves.
Seems like the Resistance still remembers us. Come on, let's help them get this situation under control.
Ну, отлично. Идем разбираться.
Burst forth.
Right now. Emerge. I'm always watching.
Right, let's move. Almost.
Time for retribution! Coming to be!
Let the show begin.
This isn't good.
Ну, совсем другое дело.
Feels close. Comrades, they've set the ship on fire! An arson attack! Curse them! They leave us no choice but to attack! Comrades, let's make them regret it! You can't run! Well, not breaking a sweat!
Burn!
I was hoping to kill Joy! We only just miscalculated. My work finished.
Let's dance.
This first. Must counterattack.
Time for retribution!
Some quiet.
Cool.
We were lucky to have you here. We'd have no way to prevent their escape without you.
What's that you're holding? Is it the directives from Kokomi? Let Paimon see. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, no, not all of them. I have 5 more volumes with me.
Are you serious?
Her Excellency always plans for every scenario. Plus, these are her general operational directives, which are more comprehensive than most. Still, we're fortunate to have them. They make sure we're...
Understanding every eventuality sounds...
Captain, are you back on Watatsumi Island to lead Swordfish 2 again? We've all been feeling your absence. Her Excellency says that now is a time of peace, and that we should reduce the size of the military, and about half of us are still organized into task forces, supporting the platoons. The other half have been given various other functions, like, of course, not everyone's happy about it. The other day, an old buddy of mine was grumbling about being forced to build...
The spirit of the resistance is alive and well. Anyway, we're here because Kokomi invited us to...
I believe Her Excellency is currently... There were reports of a possible disturbance over there. We should probably get going ourselves. And, I'm sensing a growing unease among them, but I don't know what's causing it. They won't say. They used to tell me all their concerns, but whatever this is, they're keeping it hidden.
Sounds good. Ready when you are.
Окей. Мечты воинов, подобны весенней траве. Теперь понятно название квеста немножко. Ой, красиво здесь как. Красота. Один из самых красивых островов. Так жалко, что я ее не смогла получить. Ой, птички, маленькие. Но мне очень как-то персонаж симпатично. Ой, какой-то квест нашла. Надо взять. Лишним он точно не будет. Что тут его дает? О, Камаки, старейшина деревни Боро. Так, здравствуйте. Судя по твоему виду, ты не с этого острова, да? Ты, наверное, путешественница, тогда не хочешь ли остановиться здесь ненадолго и погадать на дорогу? Погадать на дорогу не уверена, что хочу. Надо так волноваться, прошу прощения, это было несколько внезапно с моей стороны. Я всего лишь хотела сказать, что святилище Ватацуми в нашей деревне вора весьма чудодейственная, поэтому решила пригласить вас погадать. И не имела в виду, что вам непременно грозит опасность, да и возможно ли выразить столь простыми словами хитросплетение судеб, что ждет нас впереди. Хе-хе. Да, туманно. Так значит, просто гадание. А сколько стоит? Ничего не стоит, не берем деньги за такое. Если бы люди, которые следят за святилищем, брали с путешественников деньги за желание, это встревожило бы дух Амиками. Ведь всего лишь смертные. Как можем мы наживаться на желаниях других людей? Вон оно как. Так что, не хотите погадать? В такое время везде неспокойно, деревенская молодежь вся работает в других местах. Ведь таких молодых людей, как вы, наполняет мое сердце радостью. То, что вы, чужаки, с уважением относитесь к традициям острова Ватацуми, еще большая редкость. Это замечательно. Что он так смеется все время? Но пока мы не начали, не могли бы вы мне кое с чем помочь. Ага. Просто послушайте, чудодейственное святилище в деревне проистекает из растущей здесь волшебной травы пучины. Как понятно из названия, это растение раньше росло на дне океана. Оттуда пришли и предки. Тысячи лет назад праотцы нашей деревни перенесли эту траву с морского дна на сушу и очень бережно ухаживали за ней. Волшебная трава пережила войны, бедствия. Ой-ой-ой, поскольку это глубоководное растение, для жизни ему требуется постоянный приток воды. Ух ты, потому как переливается свет, мы судим, исполнится ли желание. Секрет здесь в источнике воды. Молодые жрецы постоянно сомневаются в надежности ритуала гадания. Им кажется, что народный обряд недостаточно формальный. Они распространяют предрассудки. Им больше нравятся ясные и простые для понимания теории, а не легенды, которые постепенно обращаются в прах. Но все же мудрость стариков, мудрость поколений, может быть, ее и нельзя обобщить в какую-то стройную теорию, но в ней все равно содержится истина, которой нельзя пренебрегать. Так, а что за источник воды? Чтобы вырастить волшебную траву, нужно взять воду из пруда подношений на этом острове, ведь в этой воде содержится желание. Желания всех людей собираются в этом пруду и растворяются в воде, прямо как мед. Удивительно. Человеческим глазом этого не увидеть, но можно почувствовать по густоте и сладости воды. Обалдеть. Надо же. Тоже и с памятью, и с верой. Все они следуют этому принципу. И еще, если пойдешь за водой, будь осторожна. Сила желания быстро растворится в воздухе, как только ты отойдешь от пруда. А как же ее тогда принести? Как же ее тогда принести? Видание желаний тоже можно определить по весу на ощупь. Ого, да, действительно. Прошу прощения, переотвлеклась. Одним словом, не задерживайтесь. Когда наберете воду, возвращайтесь как можно скорее, иначе сила желаний полностью выветрится. И волшебная трава не получит необходимые питательные вещества. Так, жрицы не очень хотят этим заниматься, понятно. О, еще кто-то заявочку кинул. Не. Извините. У меня квесты. Так, рано или поздно молодежь все равно научится уважать суть, которую содержит старые легенды. Ну что ж, попробуем. По крайней мере, это звучит интересно. Так, странно выглядящий сосуд какой-то мне дали. Так, ну это получается, я уже немножко отхожу от квеста. 5. Давай не полезем на палку. Нам надо что-то делать здесь. Ой, правда, что. Может это сделать быстро, можно сейчас прям раз-два и все. И эта чудесная вода исполнит заветное желание. Так. Ой-ой-ой. Нужно время. Ай-яй-яй, что? Мне нужно знать, куда нести. Почему? Куда нести, куда нести, куда нести? Таня провалена. Ёлы упала. Или что, мне его надо не через телепорт, а бежать? А куда я должна его принести? Я не вижу. Опять нет? Ладно. Какое-то странное что. Так, наверное, не успею. Давай, лети, лети, лети. Скорей. Скорей, скорей. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Ай-яй-яй-яй. Прыгайте, прыгайте. Скорей, 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 скорей. О, успела, отлично. Ура. Вы вернулись. Да, чистая вода из пруда, подношение свежее. Большое вам спасибо, я сразу же полью ей волшебную траву. Отлично. Чем я остановилась в тот раз? Ага, нужно еще кое-что сделать. Только в среде богатой гидры листья волшебной травы полностью раскрываются. Вкратце, на севере есть пещера, вода там содержит гидры, как раз в тех же пропорциях, что естественная среда волшебной травы. В разных местах пещер концентрация тоже разная, лучше всего подходит кристально-прозрачная гидра. Но если он помутнеет, например, если его потревожит какое-нибудь существо, то будет уже... Ой-ой-ой, короче... Пещера тесно связана с тайной предков нашей деревни, но, к сожалению, из-за войны мало кто из молодежи ходит туда. Ой, давайте уже. Понятно, кто-нибудь там сейчас появится, наверняка нападет. Ладно. Нас таким не испугаешь. Отправляйтесь в пещеру, которую рассказали нам. Отлично. Так. Ой, туда бежать. Как неудобно туда бежать. Что это? Места удобные. Ой, нет, нет. Не до этого мне. Куда-то надо. Другое место. Да, нет. Судя по всему, что пусть ниже. Пещерка. Да, вот она. Отлично. Соберите воду ясности. Ну, конечно, мне ее так просто не дадут здесь собрать. Очевидно, надо будет сразиться с этим гидрогипостазисом.
Burst forth.
куда полетела.
Emerge.
Verdictors, coming to be. Witness my great
Ой, ой.
Live. Right now. Emerge.
Капли, где что-то. Ой, нет, нет, нет.
Nothing lasts forever.
Получилось.
Burst forth.
Иду против луча.
Live.
Пять. Получается.
Right now.
Ты не сделала. Ай. Получилось,
Emerge. Right now.
Coming to be.
Получилось. Так. Ну, судя по всему, мне это вообще не обязательно было делать. Ну ладно. Да, можно было, видимо, обойтись. Ну ладно, ничего. Подумаешь, тоже мне не проблема. Так. А здесь что такое происходит? Что это он там? С него... Ай, ну... Тут есть дела поинтереснее. Ой. Побежали. Ну, не пробежала. Сюда. Так. Надеюсь, этого будет достаточно. Ну, кого на нее? О, сияние волшебной травы зависит от влажности воды и питательности людских желаний. Этот цвет воплощает желание. Чем прекраснее желание, тем живее свет, тем больше надежды на будущее. Каждый мечтает, чтобы завтра было лучше. Надо только, чтобы у каждого было желание сделать что-то, чтобы улучшить свою жизнь. По сравнению с этим меркнут все трудности войны. А это как-то связано с ее действенностью? Конечно, ведь, как гласит древняя мудрость, желание побуждает людей к действию, результаты действий утверждают их желания. Пока мы сохраняем мирную жизнь, пока мы защищаем свои надежды от серости дней, предсказания волшебной травы всегда будут действенными. Да, в этом есть какая-то логика. Кстати, сила желаний в воде еще продержится пару дней. Если хотите, то можете прийти еще погадать. То есть, в общем-то, гадание было не сколько для путешественницы, сколько для тех, для этого места. Вот, книжечка нашлась. Хорошо. Интересно, в любом случае. Чего? Казался ли он так мне так сделал, типа? Какой-то информатор? Да, я в курсе, знаешь. Да, есть более свежие новости. Похоже, эта партия новостей недостаточно хороша для тебя, тогда как насчет этого указ Сококу, действовавший так долго, наконец остался в прошлом. Принесет ли открытие морских путей надежду или новых врагов? Хочешь узнать больше? Если интересно, ты должен выразить свою признательность за столь подробную информацию, понимаешь? Тоже устарела, да. Да, парень, какой-то твой способ заработка не очень. Вот что я думаю. Ой, еще книжечка. Предварительное исследование народных верований. Интересно, надо потом как-нибудь взять и почитать. Йока. Так, я извиняюсь, но я потеряла вообще, где у меня... где моя цель была. Мне нужно вообще не туда. Мне нужно сделать квест. Выяснить, что тут происходит. Чем тут они недовольны. Так.
Wait, aren't you Captain? Oh, it is you! Oh, I wasn't with Swordfish too. Oh, you really gave it to those shogun. Is there anything you need from me? I'm at your service. In fairness, the battle isn't long over, and well, victory's declared, and all of a sudden, the fighting's over. I don't know what else it could be, but what I do know is that as long as Her Excellency is with us, Watatsumi Island is safe, and all the more so now that you're back. Seriously.
What a nice guy.
Он предлагает поспрашивать еще поподробнее. Арисава. Скажет Арисава.
I've definitely seen you somewhere before. Unsettled. Not that I would necessarily. We're at peace now, finally. And I, for one, intend...
Seems he's about to fall
Самой
asleep.
захотелось зевнуть. Так, двигаемся дальше. Так, вот тут какие-то ребята стоят.
I don't understand what Her Excellency is thinking. I mean, peace talks? Give me a break. Why would she agree to that?
Вот и недовольная.
Exactly. Everyone knows you can't trust the Tenryo Commission.
Wait, for real? You're sure?
Positive. Some of our guys had a run-in with a few Fatui. They caught them conspiring together firsthand.
I knew it! The Tenryo Commission are a bunch of crooks. I'll never change. Shh, keep your voice down.
Hey there, what you talking?
Captain, you're back. Do you think we should tell the captain about what we were...
No, let's not mention it. She's one of her closest advisors.
I'm sure the captain would see where we're coming from. But, welcome back to Watatsumi Island, Captain.
Her Excellency should be in the village at present. Head straight over if...
Не решаются ей рассказать.
Detected some hush-hush going on there. But if...
Паймон что-то просекла. Так, как же вас всех вывести на чистую воду? Тут еще стоят.
Admit it! We know you've been secretly supplying the Tenryo Commission with goods purchased. I knew something was off about a Tenryo Commission merchant doing business here. So, what do you have to say for your...
I'm innocent! Ha! You're as guilty as they come. You never should have been allowed to set foot on this island. Take him away!
Какие все суровые.
Wait! Kokomi! There you are! Something's going down over here!
Your Excellency! This merchant is suspected of crime. Our surveillance shows that in his whole time here, he has made numerous purchases. I have...
That will do.
Let's not let ourselves get too worked up here, shall we? Everyone, Matsuda, Uchimura. I understand that you're concerned, but before we make any decisions over whether this merchant is, if he's guilty, of course, there will be consequences. But if he's innocent, he doesn't deserve to be. Excuse me, sir. As you know, my subordinates have some.
Of course, I'm a trader on the island, so naturally I built. But then I was robbed by the Fatui. They took everything.
And why should we believe you?
История. Да, мы видели.
So what? That doesn't prove they took his. And even if they did, it'll still end up in the Tenryou.
What? The Tenryou Commission are colluding with the Fatui now? I suppose it is true.
What, the Tenryou Commissions start colluding with the Fatui? We met a representative of the Kujo clan recently, but on the way over here,
It has been brought to my attention, yet we are scheduled to begin peace talks with the Tenryou Commission soon. Kujo-Sara and I will be accompanied by our guards. But just as arrangements for the peace talks began to fall into place, I started here. If that's the case, then the peace talks are likely a trap. Even, sir, are you quite...
Yes, it's the truth, I swear. They stole my goods and then they ran off.
Very well. The potential, however, if we find evidence to corroborate the...
Yes, of course.
Matsuda? Uchimura?
Well received, Your Excellency.
Good. Now, Traveler, I mean, Captain of Swordfish Platoon Section 2. Would you join me in the investigation? Good. I also have...
if we do find the merchant's goods in the hands of the Fatui, it'll prove...
Эх, ну что ж. Пробуем выяснить,
Whatever's
что
going
там.
on between the Fatui and the Tenryou Commission, we need to get to the bottom of it.
This must be the Fatui camp that the merchant... From the looks of it, it used to be a hill... Not by brute force, that's for sure. Our enemy is in the light, while we are in the shadows. Option 1. Take the king, and it's checkmate. If we strike from above and take down their leader first. Option 2. Hit them where it hurt. If we manage to discreetly set the gunpowder, they'd be caught completely off guard. Option 3. Use the environment against them. We're close to the sea.
Wow.
That will depend on our assessment. A surprise attack from the air is with an explosion. We could rapidly reduce their numbers with... If we decide to take advantage of the environment, we should be prepared for a lengthy siege. There's the swordfish captain. It's decided then. Let's fight this one together. We should take them down as quickly...
Да, давайте побыстрее. Ой, надо тут играть немножко.
Hold the line!
Класс. Мне нравится, она миленькая. Бабах. Ой, ну пойди сам.
Emerge.
Right
here. You can't run.
Отлично.
You haven't seen the last of us. Retribution! Joy! We've only just begun. Looks like I went too far.
Потом склады какие-то в пещере. Сейчас все посмотрим.
Moment of birth.
Hold the line!
Show them. Emerge. Right here.
Отлично.
But it happens. battles are complex things.
Seems like...
And yet, the outcome is quite satisfying. I must admit. What's their objective? Let's scour the camp for
All right.
Так.
So these are the Fatui food supplies? They look a little past their best. Is this really all they had to eat?
Жемчужинки. Записки похитителя сокровищ. Вырванные странички. Что тут в записках? Здесь хранил свои сокровища великий пират Риндзо. Братья вынесли последние несколько сундуков. При жизни Риндзо был большим хитрецом, и он оставил на острове особые знаки. Все это может быть обманом, но, возможно, там действительно есть сокровища. Однако узнать-то можно только на месте. Мы уже нашли некоторые метки. Время не ждет. Пора раскапать все наследство Риндзо. Ой, так много написано. Не хочу все это читать, разве что одно слово. Например, это сокровище. Сокровище. Прелесть какая. Что-то лежит. Чайничек нашел. Тоже.
This place is chock full of bomb-making materials. Hey, look here. Could these belong to the merchant? There's a lot of stuff. Kokumi! Kokumi! We found the merchant!
I see. Oh, nothing. I just zoned out for a moment. Let's see here. Yes, these are the stolen goods, all right. Food, medicine, farming tools. All essential for post-war recovery. By contrast, it's doubtful that the Tenryo commit in all likelihood. He's just an
He's hardly a saint, though. We're not just gonna give them...
Don't worry. In my recently issued post-war temporary decree, I included restriction if he had taken the time to...
Kokumi, you think...
I wish that were true. Nothing. It's not long now until the victory feast.
Got it! First we...
Так, ну это мы выяснили. Чего неудобно бежать, каждый раз приходится. Что ж.
My goods! Thank you, you see? I don't...
I'm not so...
Based on the information we gathered from the... Had it been the case, then knowing how...
But...
No ifs, no buts. We
Guess we got carried away.
What did I tell you? You army...
Sir, I'm afraid you're getting ahead of yourself. You may be innocent of the accusations originally leveled at you, but Horton, you have already admitted to being the owner of these goods, so we are obliged to respond with appropriate...
Wait, Your Excellency, whose side are you...
I have no business taking sides. As the Divine Priestess of Watatsumi Isle, just as merit must be recognized, mistakes must be penalized.
Wait a minute,
Well, don't just stand there. Take him...
Your Excellency, he says all the goods belong to... Those of a Tenryo Commission emblem are probably his, but not the rest. Especially these ones. They're clearly for Shrine-yu.
It seems the Fatui simply dumped all their stolen goods. I know.
Not at all, Your Excellency. But if I may, Your Excellency, maybe there were no signs of... I know the peace talks are...
I understand your concern. I'm going to take these... Watatsumi Island observes different customs than the rest of Inazuma. I imagine it must all seem a little alien to you.
Да, это достаточно необычно. Будто по морскому дну ходишь. Ой. Так, ну куда мы идем? Просто идем.
It's been a long time since I last came to this village. There's been a lot to deal with recently. Next time you visit, I'll take you to visit Watatsumi Island's old shrine. You know, the earliest shrine on Watatsumi Island was not located in Sangonomiya. It was close to the Statue of the Seven. Back then, the people of this island recognized the Shogun's existence. But after she struck down our protector deity, the shrine was abandoned. Relations between Watatsumi Island and the Shogunate have soured ever since. I've been hoping to raise all this at the peace talks and discuss it properly. Grievances have to be let go eventually.
Your Excellency, what brings you out this way on your business? Oh my, you're looking a little worried.
Your Excellency, I beg you, heed a word of advice. If we reconcile with them, the god who once—
Come on, that's ancient history. Besides, the fighting is barely over.
I know, it's just—
I appreciate your concerns.
Wonderful. We're all counting.
Oh, Your Excellency? Well, I'll be fancy meeting you at a... do you know? My daughter's enrolled herself in the Shrine Maiden selection process. I'm always telling my daughter that if she gets the chance to learn... I mean, just look at Her Excellency.
Well, if she comes to Sangono...
Your Excellency. Boy, am I glad you're here. As you know, agricultural output has taken a pretty big hit this year. Let me bring you—
Oh, Your Excellency, is it—
Your Excellency!
Though, for the longer ones, I'd prefer it if you could run... Are you alright?
Да, не то слово.
It does get pretty...
Your Excellency, here you are. There's been a situation. We're still waiting on the...
Oh!
Really? That's fantastic. I sorted through all the petitions received recently. Also, according to the schedule...
That's today?
Yes, the two young ladies...
I see. Oh, let's run to... Yay! The victory beat! That's the name of the game. Great!
Теперь это уже интересно. Так. Ну что ж, пожалуй, сегодня хватит. Хотелось бы, конечно, успеть дойти, но квесты такие долгие. Поэтому я, пожалуй, остановлюсь здесь. Может быть, даже, скорее всего, закончу отдельно эту ветку квестов. В любом случае, спасибо за внимание. Хорошего вечера и, надеюсь, до новых встреч. Пока-пока.